Tweakrr is an AI tool whereby you upload a written document, whether you reference it or intersected it partially, and you want a more detailed reference to avoid plagiarism and stuff like that. So you just upload it into Tweakrr, and Tweakrr reads line by line through what you've written, corresponds it against different journals to see where those information were picked out, then intersect them, and at the end, list all the references. So that's what Tweakrr does.
Today Africa Podcast is a podcast series where we interview African entrepreneurs and professionals and share the stories behind their businesses. In each interview, we ask how they got started, how they grew, and how they run their business today. The stories are inspiring and also provide specific advice and insight into starting a business. By sharing these stories, we want to help others get started.
I'm Kamil-Bello Furqan, and I'm the co-founder of Tweakrr. So in the past, I've always been a data scientist and a researcher. So moving from different field of tech in general. So I have experience in web development, desktop development, then research, and then data science. So I've been into this field, all these fields in general for about 7 years. That's a little bit about myself. And I'm married. I have a kid too.
Let's talk about what motivated you into becoming an entrepreneur. So what motivated you into being an entrepreneur?
So to be very candid, I never had intention of being an entrepreneur. So the goal was just to be a data scientist working and, going to office in the morning, returning back in the night, meeting your family and living that way. So, and because I ventured into tech early, so I've already seen how the tech field works in general. So, and I've always aspired to be, I want to be a senior data analyst, I want to be a senior data scientist. So not until when I encountered a problem that needed me to actually build Tweakrr. So even when I encountered that problem, the intention was to actually build it for myself and I should be using. But then I was reading a book, and that was what actually changed my mentality. As guys, why would you just build this to yourself? Why don't you build it for other people? Let them benefit also from it. So basically, and that was how I ventured into entrepreneurship. So me venturing into entrepreneurship, it was like I actually chose it myself. But the problem chose me, and I followed suit. So let me put it that way. So because I just felt like, no, I think this actually is very nice realm. You building something and you being happy that people are actually using it and people are benefiting from it. So that's why I just ventured into entrepreneur and just left other things I'm doing. That okay, I think this is my calling. So then just face it squarely.
Tell us in detail what this problem was that led you into building Tweakrr.
I was working on a research one day, and I've written the whole document. It was well cited, well referenced. So anytime I'm working, I do have the well referenced document, and then I do have the one that's not referenced, just in case. So now, to my surprise, a few minutes to the submission, maybe about 20-30 minutes to the submission, then I lost the one that was well referenced and well cited. Now, I didn't have much time at hand, so I was looking for a tool whereby I could just drop the other document that had no index citation, that had no references. I could just drop it into maybe an application or an AI tool, and it will just magically, automatically just understand what I've written and add the index citations to it. So that was just a thought that came to me because I was kind of panicking that I need to submit this document as soon as possible. So that that thought just came. You understand? I was like, let me just quickly go online. I went online, started searching, nothing. Fine. I lost the submission. You understand? Then I now sat down that very night that how is it possible that there won't be a tool that can do this exact that can solve this exact problem? You understand? So I now took my time to actually surf internet, to read journals, to make research, and see maybe there's actually a tool that could solve this problem. And to my surprise, I couldn't find any. Because I've always had the thought that there is virtually nothing that you want to that is new in this world, and there's virtually nothing that is new that you actually want to solve. So for me, discovering such a problem was kind of a surprise to me. Is it possible that there's someone that actually solved this problem? You understand? So then, because I'm quite good at art, So after I made my research, I started working on it myself using our language. So then I got to a stage whereby okay, it was working bit by bit, and you know, I just felt like this shouldn't be it. You understand? I shouldn't just be building this solution for myself. You understand? I need to make it general. You get. So now, during that journey of me thinking about okay, how should I go about it? As per me being new to entrepreneurship, how should I go about it? I want to make this thing general. I want to bring in more expertise to work on. So I actually reached out to a friend who is more good in Python than myself. So, but by the time I returned home, that because what I told him we wanted to have a discussion, but it was not available. So by the time I returned back on that day, the book I was reading by Stephen Bartlett, so the 13 ways, or I think 13 ways of less than see, if I'm not mistaken. So the next page I was meant to read was actually speaking to me. You understand? And it was saying that sometimes what you need is not you getting someone technical or more technical than you, but someone more an A player and someone more business savvy than yourself. And that was when I now decided not to add the discussion with that person that is more technical than myself and look for someone that is more business savvy. So and that was how Tweakrr came into play. So me trying to solve an issue or problem that I face and making it general and solving the problem generally for anyone in the field of research, in the field of academics and writing in general.
So tell us more about Tweakrr. What is Tweakrr all about? What are your services and the products that you are offering?
Tweakrr is an AI tool whereby you upload a written document, whether you reference it or cited it partially, and you want a more detailed reference to avoid plagiarism and stuff like that. So you just upload it into Tweakrr, and Tweakrr reads line by line through what you've written, corresponds it against different journals to see where those information were picked out, then intersect them, and at the end, list all the references. So in a short form, so that's what Tweakrr does. So it makes sure that your document is well referenced and well cited because any academic piece that you write without in-text citation and referencing, so it's more like nothing. So which means even if what you've written comes fully from your head, so in academic standard, you will still see some people that have worked on it or something like that. So you need to back what you've written up with those information. So basically, and sometimes you might have referenced, so, but you need something more comprehensive and well detailed. So then you go to Twitter, upload the document, and it understands what you've written and add in-text citation and references to the document. So that's what Twitter is all about.
The book you read inspired you to not only build it for yourself, but for others who have the same problem that you encounter. So tell us the point that you knew that, okay, this product is not just for me, but for many others who are into academic writing.
When I encountered that problem, I called a friend. So then I give him my thoughts about what I faced and what I think the solution could be. And the way he validated it, you understand, it was quite
Yeah.
shocking that okay, you're also facing this problem. Speaking to other person, this person too also validated it. Oh, this would be so wonderful. I can't wait for it. So that was when I knew that this tool should be general. Everyone actually needs this tool. So it's not just my own problem. Everyone is facing that same problem. So even to my surprise, we went for a conference and we presented Tweakrr there. Professors, doctors, everyone was seated there. You understand? Immediately we mentioned Tweakrr and we explained what Tweakrr does. Everyone stood up and they clapped. You understand? So, and a lot of people say, spell it again, spell the domain name again. Tweakrr.com. Again. I'm talking about professors and doctors. So, which means everyone actually needs a solution to this problem, but they've not thought of trying to solve the problem. You understand? So, seeing someone solve the problem for them, so it makes a lot of sense. The next speaker that was supposed to speak, well, it was like I forgot the name of the man. He came on board. I was like, you will notice that everybody was shouting, call it again, call it. Even me myself, I was picking my pen and writing the domain name because I have a work down at hand that I've not referenced. That I'm just looking towards how would I go about referencing it and all like that. So which means it's not just my own personal problem, but it's a whole lot of people's problem that needs to be solved.
A whole lot of people, including myself, see referencing as a very tedious task. So what made you believe it was one of the biggest barriers in academic writing?
Myself personally, when I do any academic piece, and when I work on an academic piece, sorry, or maybe I work on a research myself. So after I'm done with the research, now I firstly came to research work for like 2 weeks. because of referencing and text citations. So it has always been like that. If I finish a work like this, I'll be like, oh my god, it means referencing that. How would I go about it? You know, it has always been a problem that I've always noticed. But because I was forced into it, is that condition then? That was what prompted into me building. So if I wasn't forced into it, definitely I wouldn't have beat Tweakrr. I'll just be like, oh, let me just wait for 2 weeks and all like that. Because it's always a very cumbersome process for me, referencing and text citing and all like that. So and discussing with some of the colleagues too, saying that they also face the same problem. And we're like, they also face the same problem. Said yes, it also face the same problem. You understand? Stuff like that. So that was when I knew that okay, I think this should just go around and it should be something that should be used by everyone.
So, what are the marketing strategies people are using to push Tweakrr on the faces of people that needs the platform?
We have about 4 marketing strategies that we've put in place. So the first one, we built Tweakrr in a way that every user would trust the system. So and what do I mean by that? Now, the flow goes this way. You come into Tweakrr, you upload your document, Tweakrr works on your document, you see that it has worked on it, you've seen the references, you've seen the text citations, you've seen everything. So you are sure that, okay, Tweakrr, like it's actually working. So which means you have trust in it. It's more like someone bringing food to your face and you see that it's actually prepared already. So you are sure that okay, I can eat this food. So it's not just a raw food or it's not a fake food. And that's what we build Tweakrr. So you drop your document, it indexates it. You can see that it has already indexated it. So then that's when you are now meant to put a commitment fee. You have to download the document. So that's the first way. So and that's part of our pricing model. So then we are also working on partnership deals with schools, so in Nigeria and beyond. So trying to reach out to the school authorities, like the deputy vice chancellor, for having a discussion with them and making sure students adopt the use of Tweakrr into their system. So and so far so good. Some schools have actually been showing interest, even in Nigeria and some in Iceland. As of present, as I'm speaking with you, because we have some ambassadors in Iceland and some in Nigeria here. So we'll be having discussion with some set of schools, having discussion with some deputy vice chancellors, making sure that it's something that everyone adopts, and we moving from the old way of referencing, so more like a task file manager. So that's what most other references looks like. So that's another marketing strategy that we are using to make sure that we promote Tweakrr and make sure that every student uses it. So then we also have the model whereby we license Tweakrr to the school. So as per any discussion we have with the school, okay, we're licensing this tool to your school for maybe for a year, and you make sure that all your students they use this tool, and you have the opportunity to use it the way you would like for a whole year. Just make sure that your students use this tool. So, and that's the problem. Then we are also trying to run ads. So, making sure that those that need this tool are seeing it maybe via Facebook, via Instagram, and all like that. So these are our marketing strategies that we've put in place to make sure that both in organizational sector and both in and individually, so they are able to create awareness around or across people that are with them, or they are aware, or they create a self-awareness that okay, there's a tool called Tweakrr that we can use and that solves this problem.
People are equally working to build partnership with school, and there's some biasness that come with AI. Some people will argue that AI assisted referencing tools like Tweakrr could make students lazy or could encourage plagiarism. So how do you respond to this criticism, and how do you respond to these people making this argument?
If you reference a document well and you extract a document well, so it makes sure it reduces the plagiarism. So that's number one. So if you don't reference a document well, so and you pick an information from somewhere and you didn't reference where you picked it from, so it actually increases the rate of plagiarism in your document. So that's number one. So Tweakrr helps in dropping down your plagiarism level, so by making sure everything is well indexated. So that's number one. Then secondly, as regards students being lazy, I'll give you an example now. Naturally, or let me say in the olden days, we write letters to our friends, we write letters to our fathers in order to communicate them. We now have phone. So we won't say phone actually made us lazy. We would say it gives us a better connection to speak with people and a better communication and a better way of communication. You understand that I can always call you today, tomorrow, next tomorrow. So I would be waiting for a month to do uh, to receive a letter from you. So I see Tweakrr the same way. You understand? We won't say because we are scared, just go the way people are scared of AI, that because we are scared of AI, so we won't use AI. No, we have to learn to adopt the use of AI into our system. And Tweakrr is one of it. So it simplifies the processes. It makes students understand that, okay, this is way this thing actually works. And it also makes sure that any document that's coming out of that university is well referenced, well cited to avoid plagiarism. And such a document could be accepted into some research journals. I'm talking about big research journals. You understand? That, okay, this is a very good research journal, so let's accept it and all like that. So I feel like that's what Twitter's all about, and that's where I view things. So when it comes to Twitter, so we won't say because it will make us lazy. No, I don't believe Twitter will actually make us lazy. I believe it will make things matter faster and simpler, so for everyone. So and through it you could also learn, because when you see it reference to something, the student could also see that, okay, this is how upper format is reference, this is how Harvard format is reference, this is how Chicago format is reference, and stuff like that.
What were the challenges that you faced when you started Tweakrr, and how did you people overcome it?
I think one of the main challenges that we faced was working with different developers. So, just as I cited the other time, that some developers gave us problems with them telling one of them, you telling him to do something and giving him set of excuses for a month, you're not doing anything, you're not achieving the milestone that you planned on achieving. A goal that you set for 2 months, so now spanning into 5, 6 months. It's a whole lot of headache. So that's number one. That's one of the issues that we face. So then another issue that we faced was issue of financing. So because people that are working with you, you have to kind of pay them, incentivize them, and also make there are times when you have to just give them something new. Not everyone that actually understands the end goal of what you are building. Not everyone is about delayed gratification. Some want instant gratification. And as a co-founder and a CEO, you have to understand that not everyone sees the way you see things. So that's another challenge that we face. So trying to get finance, trying to get money to pay these people. So it hasn't been easy. And we're also trying to work with a lean team. So working with a lean team means working with 2, 3 people to build a system, something that maybe about 5, 6 people should do on a normal man. Yeah, and so it's even I myself, they will be writing codes. I'll be on the call with them that no, it shouldn't go this way, it should go this way, it's not working this way, it should go this way. You understand? So hours that won't even be able to attend to anything. So that's another thing. Another challenge that we faced was the challenge of marketing, getting customers. So for every founder, they would always think you just building the product. That's the only thing, that you should build the product. Oh, you're good to go. Everyone would use it. So until you actually build that product and you see that no one is actually using that product, so that's when you now start racking your brain that, okay, how should I go about it? Okay, we tested this model, it didn't give us the necessary result. We dropped that. We tested this model, it didn't give us the necessary result. We dropped that. We tested this model. So and stuff like that. So sometimes you even feel emotionally depressed that I've built something nice now. No one is using it again. What do you want? You understand? And when I'm talking about no one is using it, it's about growth. You might get maybe 2, 3 people using it now, but then you feel like you should have increased now. What's going on? That am I not doing the right thing? Or is it that people don't actually don't need this tool? Stuff like that. So it's sometimes you just feel emotionally depressed. Sometimes when I have those type of thoughts, I'll just take my phone for like 2 hours. I'm not sleeping, I will just lie down, just thinking about what's next, what's next, what's next. So this challenge it's always not easy on the founder's side. So and you thinking about how the company should develop and grow, so basically.
Tweakrr is being used outside Nigeria. So, did you ever imagine that an idea you conceived in your house will one day go global?
To be very candid, and to be very sincere, I've never had such a thought. Because initially, I've never had the thought of being an entrepreneur or the thought of building anything special. You get. So it was never, even me building Tweakrr, when I saw people from UK and Germany, USA trying to adopt it, me getting some users from there, I was quite surprised that, oh wow, interesting. We actually have people that would love to use Tweakrr over there too. So which means we're not building something just local. We are building something global, which is everyone needs it. So as far as if you are in the academic sector, you need it. And so vacant did, you know what's funny? If if I'm not in school, I know someone in school. If I don't know someone in school, and the person that I know knows someone in school. So it's a chain, which means we almost everyone goes to school, and almost everyone are in the academic field. So one way or the other, which means it's almost everybody that actually needs this tool. So if you don't need it, your father will need it, your brother will need it, your friend will need it, or your cousin will need it. Someone will need it around you. So that's when I knew that okay, I think it's actually a global product, and everyone actually needs it.
Before we started this interview, we faced one major challenge, which was internet connectivity. The internet connection was very bad. That is taking me to my next question. In regions with limited internet connection, how do you ensure that Tweakrr work reliably and inclusively?
During the course of building Twitter, so we also experienced some glitches. So in terms of the loading time being slow, and we having every maybe images, every packages so in our system. So what we try to do was to bring those things down. So which means if you have very little internet connection, so you'll be able to access Twitter. So even if your connection is doing somewhere, you'll still be able to access Tweakrr. So because when we built it first, the first phase of it, so even everything that we built, the area, yes, everything we dumped everything, then we dumped everything and built another one. So just to make sure that it is inclusive enough. So as far as you have a phone, you have a little bit of internet connection, even if it's not stable. So Tweakrr will still be able to work fast and reliably well. So I will make sure that we consider that. So while building Tweakrr. So I'm looking towards also maybe building a mobile version of it. So soonest. So, but we possibly have a web version of it. So we just go onto Google or type www.tweakrr.com. Then we are already using Twitter.
You are building a B2B, B2C edtech service as a software. So, what's your business model and how do you balance accessibility and sustainability?
We are building B2B and B2C. Fine. So, and we are trying to make sure that in as regards these two models, we are trying to reach the right set of authorities so that could actually make this accessible. So just an example of what I gave you was the one of schools. We're trying to meet school authorities, the vice chancellor, the deputy vice chancellor, having a meeting with them, making sure that it is accessible and sustainable across their own organization. So then also trying to meet individuals that have the right connect. That, okay, tell your friend. There's also people that are the members that okay, we have a tool like this, and and also having a partnership deal with them. Because as we all know, so if we are telling people to actually come to do something, or you are trying to tell them something, you must also have something for them. And that's where we have a model called 60 to 40 model. So business model, and what we put in place for B2B and B2C, whereby people under you, when they use it, you get paid 40% of everything that Twitter makes. So it goes directly into your company's account or your business account. So basically, so making sure that it is number one accessible to those who actually need it, and number two, you that recommended it or that you told them to use it, you're also benefiting from it personally and monetarily. So, and these are the things we've put in place to make sure that uh, organizations benefit from it, individuals also benefit from it financially and academically.
You are the co-founder of Twitter, the brain in which the idea was conceived. So, what has been your toughest day as a founder, and what kept you going?
Own incidents. So I think we launched, so and I think we were having influx of users. You understand? People were checking it out, people were registering and all like that. So then we noticed an error in the system. So now I reached out to my technical team that okay, so we faced this error, and while trying to resolve that error, we encountered another error. So more like the whole system that we built was almost crumbling. So I was like, and I was on call with them, looking at the way everything was going. So while trying to resolve the second error, another error popped up again. And this system was already live, and people were already checking it out, and you made the necessary moves to make sure that there was influx of people onto the system and stuff like that. So now trying to resolve it, we couldn't resolve it the first day, couldn't resolve the second day, couldn't resolve the third day. So I was so down. I was so down. But there was this one thought that came to me during this moment, and it was like, irrespective of anything, I've started this, now complete it. So that was not one of the first thought that came to me. Then the second was if I have belief, like a very very strong belief that everyone actually needs this tool, even if it's not going well now. I know that if we actually build it and we do what's necessary, everyone would actually embrace it. And because I see Tweakrr as a revolution, to be very candid. So it's more like you moving from the way referencing was being done. So it's not only about it being a new tool, it's about you rewiring and restructuring people's brain that we've actually advanced. We shouldn't be doing things the old way anymore. Yeah, so it's two battles. So number one, you beating an AI tool. Then number two, you trying to wire people's brain that the old way has come to an end. We should embrace the new way of doing things and referencing things. So these were just these are the ways I just make sure that I calm myself down and I keep uh going. I keep keeping the pace at which we are working, and I make sure that every day. So I check how our system is doing. I check everything, and the necessary contact I should reach out to. I reach out to them. The necessary phone calls, text, and I do that. So it has not always been easy, to be very candid, but these are just some inbuilt grit and mindset that, irrespective of anything, this will be successful. I believe.
Let's talk about the feedback that you have received. So, which user feedback convinced you that Tweakrr isn't just a tool but a lifeline for researchers?
One of the feedback that we received was one in which a lady reached out to me. I think via Twitter also. So, and she was like, "Oh my God, so this is the tool I've been looking for since these days. I understand. You can't understand the pain I've been going through trying to get friends. I'm not like that." So I had to screenshot that chat and sent to my co-founder. So that, okay, this lady so saying so. She gave a positive feedback and also give an aspect where we could improve on. So, and she made mention of trying to make Twitter more local, like local. You should understand local context. For example, if you are talking about Nigeria, so she'll be able to actually uh, understand that that the reference should be more of Nigeria. Because what Tweakrr does is, if you're talking about local context, it still try understanding local context, but it still mixes it with the general context. When I'm talking about general context, what is going on in the world and stuff like that. That she would have loved if maybe about 60% or 70% of the document should be of maybe about Nigeria. If you're talking about Nigeria, it should be about Nigeria. If you're talking about Brazil, it should be about Brazil. So then maybe the little should be about a global context. You get that? So, and this was a pivotal feedback. So to us that, okay, we understand that, okay, we need to improve in this aspect, but at the same time, it also shows that she's one of those who needs it. I don't know this person, just a regular customer or a regular user. So reaching out to me via Twitter that so shows that she needs the tool and she has been craving to have such a tool or to use such a tool. For example, those in BSc should be 10 years research paper. Okay, when I mean 10 years research paper, the research paper that will be used to reference that document should be within 10 years. Those in master's level should be within 5 years. Those in PhD level should be within 3 years. And these are part of the early feedback that we received. And we implemented them. And we noticed that a lot of people loved that specific feature that they're able to choose. Okay, I want it to be within 3 years, within 5 years, within 10 years, and so on.
You are like a pioneer in this niche. So how do you people plan to stay ahead when other people start venturing or start creating, the same kind of tool like Tweakrr?
I would start this way. I read books, but when I read books, I make sure that I read them like 3, 4 times or 5 times to actually understand a lot of concepts. So I was reading a book called The 22 Laws of Marketing. So, and the first law was that make sure that you be the first in the category. So when you be the first in the category, so it gives you the access to understand the users early, to understand how they think, to understand what they want and what they do not want. And most likely, even if other joins, so there's high probability that even if you are going to be sharing the market shares, you are going to be sharing it, yours will still be higher because you've gotten real time feedback early, you understand the way they think and stuff like that. So, and in rare cases that we would have, which do happen, you have people coming after you, overtaking you. If you are also not growing, and if you are also not being careful and making sure that you are not just static. So our goal in Tweakrr is to always make sure that we receive feedbacks from customers, implement those feedbacks, try to see the results it gives. Did it work? Did it bring in more growth or it reduced it? So whether we need to retain it or we need to take it off. Then also interacting with the customers one on one. What do you think we should add to this? What do you think we should take off from this? So, and at the same time, making sure that we are not static in general. So we keep improving, we keep making sure the system is better till we get to where we are going. So even till now, WhatsApp still updates their application, Facebook still updates their application. So who are we not to always make sure that we are growing every day. So and that's the way we see it, and that's what we plan on moving forward to Africa.
Where do you see Tweakrr in the next 5 years?
I see Tweakrr as a tool um that will be global and used like Turnitin. So Turnitin is an academic platform that checks the plagiarism level, AI level, and so on like that. So I see Tweakrr being something of such. Every school adopting it, every school saying it as the sole referencing tool that should actually be used and place that we just wait something is being seen as the leader of plagiarism, as the leader of plagiarism checker. Every school in the world virtually uses Turnitin. So I see Tweakrr being in the same gap space as Turnitin.
What lesson have you learned in your journey as an entrepreneur?
I learned something very, very key. So which I think any founders do make mistakes about. And you would always think that you just need to build the product. Only after you finish building the product, then you will realize that the toughest phase of being an entrepreneur is actually marketing what you've built, getting users to use what you've built. So I think that's the toughest and the most challenging part of being an entrepreneur. So, and to me, I would say for every entrepreneur, while they are trying to build their system, so they should also make sure that they start working um, on getting users down. So, or maybe putting some business model in place to make sure that while they are growing product wise, they're also growing market wise. So the two would move at the same pace. So to make sure that by the time the product is done, so the market is also available in which the users would consume the product that you've built. So you just building a product and believing that people will use it. So I think it's a no to me. I feel like everything must go hand in hand.
What advice do you have for others, for those who want to venture into entrepreneurship?
I would say entrepreneurship is a very interesting space to explore. The enthusiasm and the hope that what you built might actually be something that might actually be a lifeline to everyone. So it's something to look forward to. So, and the thought that one day what you built would be useful to others too, or what you built would go global and stuff like that. So it's one of the things that actually keeps an entrepreneur, happy every day he wakes up. So I would say to everyone who wants to go venture into entrepreneurship or things related, so should have should be very enthusiastic about what he or she wants to build. So you have to check yourself. Okay, am I interested in research? Am I interested in SaaS product? Am I interested in fintech? So anything I build, you have to be interested in it because entrepreneurship, I won't lie, it's really, really difficult. So it's very, very difficult. So, but what would keep you going is the fact that you love what you are doing and you really, and you also understand what you are doing. And that's a little bit of advice I can give to anyone who wants to venture into entrepreneurship.
Today Africa Podcast is a podcast series where we interview African entrepreneurs and professionals and share the stories behind their businesses. In each interview, we ask how they got started, how they grew, and how they run their business today. The stories are inspiring and also provide specific advice and insight into starting a business. By sharing these stories, we want to help others get started.